grease filled, and it's got a really heavy outer jacket. I mean, it's stiffer than this.
Yeah.
It feels like it's in a piece of nylon tubing.
Yeah.
It is a pain to put ends on, but once they're on, they're there forever. But yeah, it's filled with grease, which makes it awful to deal with. But if you bury it and you hit it with a shovel, even if you nick the outer, it's not going to get water in it.
Well, no, that was just, I mean, I've got like a 4-foot overhang all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
All I have is normal cable. I didn't know it'd make a big difference. Just
No, that'd be fine. If you staple it up under the overhang, so the direct burial is also rated for sun exposure, and normal cable isn't. UV would do more damage, so you want to get it in a shadow.
Effective pixels are 2560 by 1920. See the 1920.
It's 4K. That's pretty bent.
Yeah. That's 5.
80 degrees horizontal, 50 degrees vertical. I have to check the frame on that. I may be able to change the frame in iSpy. H.264, it's on VIF.
Put it sideways.
This thing runs, I noticed when I was watching it, it gives you the bandwidth that it's using. It was like 150 kilohertz. Not high bandwidth when it's running with the phone.
Yeah, that's a fourth of my bandwidth. Twice what my upload is, so wouldn't be watching that non-home.
140K?
Oh yeah.
What do you like me? You got 750K
I got
up?
5 meg down and 756K up.
Oh,
which
okay,
is
yeah, that's me.
50K, so I guess you're a little over.
I used regular Cat 5 cable outside for years before it finally
broke.
Yeah, and I don't think the Cat 5 was the problem. I think water actually got into the camera. Finally got into the camera.
Yeah.
I think the I took an old handheld camcorder, one of the big old pieces of whatever, and I used Cat 5 to run the audio and video out of it down and to run power up to it. So I was only running one line out to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just used off the shelf bathroom caulking silicone.
Mm-hmm.
Just silicone the hell out of it and duct taped it. And it worked forever like that. But I think the duct tape finally broke down, and then the silicone broke down, and water got inside of it.
Sacrilege say duct tape breaks down. Un-American.
Duct tape will break down. Especially if it gets enough rain in it.
That's your problem.
But I think that's what happened. I still let's say.
We used to have a Saturn L1, I think. The early ugly Saturn, they were all ugly, but the especially ugly one, and it had the sunroof, which was an absolutely awful design on those things. And when we got it leaked, but we got it for free, so we didn't care. And I stuck duct tape over it, and after a week of driving, the duct tape would peel off of it. I put Gorilla Tape on that thing, the nice heavy Gorilla Tape. That lasted 2 years. When it started to peel a little bit, so I went and pulled the rest of it off to put down new, and it took off the clear coat and in some cases the paint.
Yeah.
Damn, now I need 2 pieces to cover up the damage.
Had they call it 300 mile an hour speed tape.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what the Gorilla Tape is. Yeah. And it can survive a year at 60 miles an hour. No
At
problem.
least. At least a year.
Ask my friend Bumper.
Gorilla Tape is awesome stuff.
Yeah.
It's not duct tape. It's Gorilla Tape.
Yeah, this one for your front door, if you want to talk to them, this one doesn't talk out. It listens, but it doesn't talk.
I don't want to talk to those people out there.
That's what
Oh,
the
yeah.
ring's for.
Get off of my porch.
Yeah.
Get off. Get off.
That is probably the best sound that you can send back out. There's no reason to talk with them, and now just
Everybody knows what it means.
The street cams actually have a siren built in, so you can trigger a siren. If you
Oh, we don't need no siren. Take care of it ourselves out there.
The I Spy, you can trigger audio. I trigger the dogs. You got dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
I got birds that I trigger one.
That's funny. We had a dog, but when I lived in Hamilton, all my neighbors thought that we didn't have a dog. Every time somebody would come to the door or whatever, she would bark her full head off, but nobody ever saw it. So they all thought that it was a fake dog, and I'm like, oh no, she'll take your head off if you come in.
given the option.
It's a real dog. You don't want to mess with her. She's the most friendliest dog in the world. She probably would have rolled over and pat me, please, pat me.
What's Mark's last name? Yeah, I'm thinking-
Mark's last name.
Which Mark?
Yeah,
Mark.
I think I've got it.
Mark.
You got too many marks in the mailbag.
Mark West.
That's it. Mark West.
I don't know if I've got him in the list. How about that?
So I'm working on an interesting sensor, and I could use getting metal stamped. If anybody knows where you get prototype quantities of metal stamped.
Structural things or like markers?
It needs to look like the top of a mushroom.
Okay, so you
Plate
went
steel.
drawn stainless or drawn aluminum or something.
Weldable steel. Stainless is probably better or good.
Stainless is expensive. Okay. How big physically?
3 inches in diameter.
Oh, okay. So
Little
that's
stuff.
Cincinnati Hydroforming.
Well, they can do that.
I don't know what their minimum quantity would be. There's also a sheet metal shop in Blue Ash that has hydroforming equipment, but it isn't listed on their website. Let's see.
What was the first place you mentioned?
Cincinnati Hydroforming.
I was just curious how much of a dome or just like a real shallow.
Well, I didn't answer that question.
It's going to be an antenna, isn't it?
No, it's for a strain gauge
Okay.
and a pump that they use with concrete.
Well, then I'm not even thinking in the same line of whatever I'm thinking.
Paragon Metal Fabricators in Blue Ash. They have some drawing ability. And if you walk in and say, I want this, they can tell you whether they can do it or give you somebody that can.
No, it's always that. Everyone knows who can.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of machining, but I don't know.
Paragon is not technically on Blue Ash Road. It's on the other side of the railroad tracks, so it's some other address, but they're on Paragon or on Blue Ash Road, south of Cross County.
Almost an inch.
Yeah.
Don't cap. Yeah, good luck with that. Oh, you said dome. That's a
Like a mushroom.
yeah,
Like
cap.
a mushroom.
So if you want to go cheaper, I would say go to Wasserstrom.
Now, these people are flying me back and forth to California to make this thing. The price of the metal is not important. That's what we're talking about. So you got 3 lithium coin cells down here, welded
Okay.
into this thing. This lid is what flexes. There's a strain gauge here and temperature sensors.
Okay.
That's all. I don't know how to get this made. I know how to get the rest of it.
That'd be
So go to Wasserstrom. They're just off the Mitchell Avenue exit downtown. They sell restaurant supply, and they have deep drawn pans
Sure.
about so big around in stainless steel, and they have so much quantity that'd be $3. I mean,
Harvest a piece from that.
yeah, it's already.
I was wondering where he was going with that. 'Cause
Yeah, I
So
like that.
The
shoots over your head
tub
sometimes.
about so deep and this big around that they put flatware in.
Uh-huh. That makes good sense.
That's-
I should try to find the shape instead of make it.
Yeah. Again, those are really cheap. I spend a lot of time at Wasserstrom. I do a lot of cooking.
Yeah. Excellent.
If you ever want to, one of those cheesecake pans with the springform pans. They've got them down to 3 inches in diameter and up to 2 feet. It's weird. Every time I walk through there, it's like, huh, never saw that before. Give me 2.
I see.
They could go.
Kenny, got anything for us today?
no.
None today? Okay. You got anything for us today? No happiness? Okay.
No.
Steve, anything new?
Nothing new. Just
No new toys?
it's not a toy. Linux documentation. If you would like printing out your documents, the man pages in Linux are done using nroth and troth, and they're created using TeX. And when you go to print them, they're just glorious.
so you decided to print. Is that
To appreciate the work.
the entire man page?
Oh hell no. That's
For
fine.
about
Fucking
15 packages. This
That
is this is the stuff.
that's what I was figuring. That could not possibly be the.
This is the stuff for the virtual machines,
Okay.
and for generating your own console font, because
Oh.
I went to Ubuntu Mono as a console font, and it was like, this should be easy, and it is. It's 2 commands.
It's easier than you would have thought.
Just 2 esoteric commands that I never used because
Never heard of it
I
before.
never needed to convert true type fonts into ASF or whatever they are.
So, on your bookcase, you're going to have a library full of man pages.
I have it. So when I started playing with Unix was the heyday of SCO Unix. And when you bought SCO Unix, it came with all of the man pages
Bookshelf.
printed out. Yeah, it was a full bookshelf by section. It was section 1 for user commands, and section 7 was programming, and section 8 was administrative stuff. And it was this that they printed it with, running it through PS Book and PSN up, that sort of stuff. And so they were half-size pages. And I have a full set of SCO 5.7 manuals at home, and they're still quite apropos. grep has not changed all that much.
I just threw away my Object Pascal Programmer's Guide that came with Delphi 3.
Ooh, okay, that's been a while.
So-
I played with Delphi, I guess 2 and 3 years ago, and then moved away from it.
So did everyone else.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you still find someplace on it.
Yeah.
Howdy, sir.
How you?
Vicente's been working on a lot of stuff.
Fill us in. Tell us more.
Confidencial.
It's secret. Is that what you're saying? We're not allowed to know?
You got anything you want to share today, Vicente?
I have nothing. Everything at home. I am working with this camera, coding in Python, learning something about that. It's pretty nice.
Steve just shared with us his Linux manual.
Yeah. Well, a few excerpts of it.
A very small portion of the Linux
Yeah.
manual.
I have candies to share.
Okay. And then I shared my 5 megapixel indoor-outdoor camera, Android camera,
Android operating system camera, or is to connect to an
to
Android?
connect to it, and it does iSpy, and it does the recording VLC recording connection, and it does allow you to map areas out on the alarm, so you can say, "I only
Okay,
look at
something
this
moves.
area." You can actually draw with it. It's pretty nice. With the 5 megapixels, you can zoom, and it really you don't. It's fixed position, but you can really expand it and zoom.
To try it with the cars in your.
I hadn't used it on the cars. Problem with the cars is they're
Fast.
moving so fast, and the light varies a lot. And at night, your resolution goes to hell. But still, it'd probably be okay. You'd have to put a different lens. This one, looks like I could put a different lens on it. May have to take the probably fit. I've got 2 car cameras now. One of them is a 960 and the other was a 720. Looking at 2 different angles. But the speed, yeah, I doubt it'd make much difference. I don't know. Might be worth a shot.
No, it does 26 frames or 25 frames.
Yeah, and the night vision, and you really need to be, first problem is you really need to be near where you can see the front or the back of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never get a license plate.
I would think it'd be hard to get from the front at night because of the headlights.
They did say this has better vision, better night vision than some, but it's really got to be hot.
We were toying with flooding license plates with IR light so that the cameras wouldn't work on them.
Where I work, we share a parking lot with a Walmart and the Silverton Police. And they have 14 megapixel cameras on each entrance. I think they can pick up a license plate.
Yeah, they figured it out. But the trouble with 14, you can get 14 megapixel, I'm sure. You can probably get a 10 or 12, but you're going to have to cough up some bread, and that's
Yeah.
not me. I just barely made it to 5.
How is you already showed them?
No, not yet. I'm just sort of waiting. I'm waiting my turn.
He's the last. So we try to go through and get everybody finished, and then
We are leaving the
Well,
worst for the
picture.
last.
Hello,
the
dude.
best for last. Save the best for last.
I almost bought all the cameras he showed
One of the
last
wee
week.
people.
Yeah, we weren't surprised.
To play
We
with
saw
them.
their eyes, yeah.
They have a different systems, but it's nice to use them.
Yeah.
I think those cameras are maybe half of a quarter of the speed of the Yeboah. Yeboah is it's faster, but it needs this little fan that's
Right.
always making sound
Always
noise.
making noise, yeah. 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 Well.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah. I
Now,
think
the frames per second doesn't necessarily tell you how fast can something be moving before you get a good frame.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Well, sorry, the Jaguar with the same
So
program
are you concerned about
runs like
time
5
where
times
you're at,
faster
or
than
is
this
it
one. You know,
Oh,
this
I've-
is 5 frames per second. Jaguar is 30 frames. It's faster.
Different
You better come
cameras,
to my house now.
different camera, different.
Yeah.
No, the processor.
So
You know,
like
this
your
is
iPhone
a
have the
400
400, yeah.
mega, and the
Megahertz.
Jaguar has
I only have
1.2
3.
giga or something.
Right.
That's why the fan.
People stealing four-wheelers and log splitters.
But it's nice to have this.
I'm lit up now,
this
and I've got
small-
cameras. Everybody that comes up sees cameras.
Yes.
You can have 4 of those or 3 of those for the.
Well, that's the problem with the one
Yeah.
people south of us away is that they steal all the cameras.
You still
They used to just take the SD cards, and now they just take the cameras.
What happened with the wheels? Still.
Well, I got the SD cards.
We'll
and
find
I
out
also
what it
have
does on
iSpy
this
running.
surface.
Need to bring a glue spray.
Are we ready?
Yep.
I guess.
If you're ready.
I don't know. So, okay. Last week the face thing wasn't working mainly because I was trying to use the translated version of the code, which caused me all kinds of hate and discontent. See, all the spaces and everything, it just was nasty. So, smart guy over here, he says, turn off the translation. And amazingly enough, that worked. So, I made a couple of changes because for whatever reason that these wheels seem to slip, and they weren't slipping for him apparently. Down in here in the
Probably running on
in the Arduino code, he's got a speed thing, a speed modifier. So it was relatively easy to change. So
He has one other difference. He has his wheels on the reverse of yours.
they're supposed to point to the center.
If they point to the center, if it's sitting there, you can rotate it around the center, and they'll slip. The first picture on the top of his, on the top, they're pointed to the center, which means on the bottom they'd be pointed out.
It's supposed to be.
I'm just saying it's different.
They're all supposed to be pointed to the center.
Yeah, look at the
Yeah.
tops of his wheels and the tops of yours.
Yeah, they are different.
Yeah.
Oh well, I made it work, more or less. They're it's way cheaper. This whole thing was only $44, $50, and I don't know, 17,
So $120 ish
40.
after shipping.
No, 40, 10, 40 and 10 is 50, 60, $70.
Oh, okay.
So it's no comparison to the $400 one that actually works really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but whatever. This is all the weird, funky math to make it work. And the only other thing I did, I think I changed my threshold to 30, and I changed the speed factor to 0.7 to make it a little bit faster. And I slowed down the move time, and I increased the camera wait time to try to compensate for the fact that it was moving a little faster. So what it does, or what it's supposed to do, is if it doesn't see the face, it'll sit there and spin in one direction, and then if it still doesn't see the face, it'll spin the other direction, hopefully stabilizing and seeing the face. And once it sees the face, it will turn the screen will turn green, and it drives to the face, and maybe knocks over the face. Maybe it actually gets close enough and it turns blue and says that he's close to the face. So it's about 50-50 when it 50-50. Sometimes it runs over the face, and sometimes it says, oh, I'm actually close to the face. And sometimes it doesn't work at all. So, but we were playing around with the M5 stack, the Stick V, which is the big brother to this, and it's got a different camera sensor on it that actually works better. So maybe next week I program that and we see the difference.
Okay, cool.
Because it works a whole lot better. So we saw the face, and we drove past the face. And the only other thing that I changed to the program, so I put I wanted to know what the battery voltage was, so I put it up on the screen. Yeah, that's the one that always seems like it has some issue. Come on, see my little face. Hey, I said I'm here.
Oh, they clean green light.
Got paper and pen to make a face.
I don't have a pen on me. No, mine counts.
Pen.
It sees.
This is yours. May I draw a face here?
Sure.
You think it's having a problem seeing the face? Because it doesn't seem to have a problem seeing people. Recognizes Steve.
Yep. That's all. Yep.
So the camera's sensor is doing this all on its own, and it's just giving you a signal when it's found its target?
So if you,
You have to train the camera somehow?
yeah, the camera, the firmware actually comes with facial rec built into it. So the training has already been done, but you can improve it because it's not the best. But up here across the top, you can see some numbers scrolling past. And when it actually sees a face, those numbers, it will change, and it will say it's going straight or it's to the left or to the right. Doesn't quite know that that's, oh, look, it turned blue. It says it's close. It's too close. Takes it a second to realize that it's gone. Or longer than a second. There we go. Vicente said, I am here. I am a weird drawing of a face. Going right to you.
Excellent. Well, maybe it needs color information as well.
Yes. I think he translates to gray shades of gray.
This is the guy who designed the program.
Mm-hmm.
That's his icon from Twitter.
So that's what he's using.
So
It saw it. Oh, there it comes.
There we go.
It saw it, but it has trouble staying on it.
Nope.
Well, it's blue. It says good enough.
yeah, it says it's close enough.
Huh? Its aim is a little different. It's going the
Well, it
wrong
goes in
way.
the wrong way,
It's
yeah.
going the wrong way. That's what's
Maybe
happening.
maybe
Change the
Steve,
wheels.
Steve's probably right.
Steve is right about the wheels that they are. This go forward and this go back. Yeah, this way.
I don't know. You know, my desk is about the size of my laptop, so it works on my desk.
Pass these down. Good that way.
Not far enough away.
Turn it back.
So it should start out rotating the other direction.
You need to make it bigger.
That's about as close as I can get in.
Hey, come on, little face.
Didn't fall for that one.
Yeah, we last week we did microphone. So
That's still going the wrong way. It's going the wrong way.
Wow. It's doing something now. That's important.
Yeah, it's seeing the phase.
Sort of looks like Jeremy does.
It's moving away from it.
I am very curious what's
It's a
going
very
on.
scary force.
it's bomb.
It's good not to ask too many questions when you first come in. See who's going to move which way, and then, you know.
There it goes. It's blue.
Blue means
Blue means
I did it.
it's close enough.
Close
Yeah.
enough. Okay.
It'll do this over and over and over until we get tired of it doing it and we turn it off. It is moving the wrong direction.
Yeah, if he keeps it moving to the right, it'll kind of follow it. It's doing the wrong thing too. It should be going toward it, and it's not. It's going sideways.
There's a knot missing somewhere.
You have to swap the front wheels and the back wheels across. Now that's beyond my mechanical aptitude.
They're supposed to be pointing to the center. I don't think they're pointing to the center.
I don't
No,
think
no,
they
no.
are. Because if they point to the center, if they're in a square, then it can spin without rotating any of the tires. It can
Yeah.
spin about its axis, and that's not what you want. If they form brackets around it, it can't spin. Any motion has to be caused by the wheels turning. That you want to force when it does its motion. You don't want it to be able to slip.
that's why I like the traditional wheels.
Are you saying you don't like the fancy
I
next
don't like
generation?
those wheels.
Let's go right to the horse's
It's nice
mouth.
as a novelty, but to using the real thing.
The tail dragger is simpler
They're-
in this sort of
They're
application.
pointing towards the
Maybe
center.
On the
in a
top, not
warehouse
on the
to
bottom.
move stuff, you know, you can just whatever.
This is the bottom.
Okay, there.
That's a good picture to compare it to.
Now you have the same same orientation as the picture.
Well, one did chip.
All pointing to the center from the above.
From above.
Yeah. Clicking on the small picture of the bottom view. This is from
It can go
top view.
sideways, huh? No wonder
Yeah.
it's got fancy wheels.
Do you change anything on the direction in the code?
Just the
It's
speed.
for a car design for people that don't know how to parallel park.
Nobody's going to know how soon they're going to park themselves.
No,
Yeah,
it's like
I saw
the picture. No?
Video of one. Well, it was a Model A.
I always
You see,
thought it was
like
no,
the
the
guy
same
cranked the wheels and the wheels turn like that.
Direction.
And they,
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
oh man, it was slick as crap. I guess they did it for in like downtown New York because it was so hard to park, you know, because there's so much stuff that they made a model where the wheels kick and then they can just pull sideways
Those
into
are
the parking
definitely not
spots.
pointing
It
to the
was
center.
slick.
I saw a thing today on auto insurance rates going up because even minor accidents these days, you have to replace the
The same
fender.
thing.
And that's an
Yeah.
ultrasonic sensor, and an IR sensor, and a camera, and recalibration.
I don't know. So maybe his code isn't working. Maybe
Well, might have had them wired or wheels different. And maybe
his
it's
picture's
code.
too. His picture's too small to really see, isn't it?
This code is for this camera or
Yeah,
is for the
yeah,
other
yeah,
one?
yeah. He,
Is the M5 stick or is this one?
it's this one.
So,
Let
if
me see- let
instead
me
of
see the
moving
code. Let me see the
forward
code.
when it sees a face, it's moving sideways.
Let me see the code.
It may be that two of the motors, the left side, for instance, is wired with reverse polarity. Because he's going sideways until he gets there, until it's centered, it looks like.
Put the code for a second. The camera code. To check that is this where is the X?
It went back and forth. It was going back and forth across the picture.
Yeah, to get
And then it
centered.
went the other way across the picture. That's what it's doing. Okay, it's not.
It's trying to center it onto the picture.
It goes back and forth, scanning the picture back and forth. I see. Except if it's going the wrong way, you would lose it. Get off the picture. It would keep going the wrong direction. It's going right instead of left. You would lose the picture.
Try the stick guy again.
Hi, stick guy. Well, let's not be blue anymore. Hi, stick guy. I think my stick guy got damaged. Hey, I'm right here.
Jeff had said that it goes for a while and then reverses. I haven't. Yeah.
It stopped and then lost it. What is that? It saw that one for a second, but then it moved back the other direction. Oh, there it goes. It did it and found it. It stopped.
Vicente changed the wheels on me, didn't he? Well, I wasn't watching. He did something, didn't he? Anyway, it's a neat little experiment. So next week.
Moves toward pretty girls. I
Okay, it's blue
understand
light
it.
now. It got close enough. So we need to go back.
Your flashlight's on too.
Hey, maybe it likes hot-looking chicks. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it was trained on.
Needs to be reset. His blue is stopped. Needs to be reset or something.
Yeah,
Okay. It doesn't like her. What do you got? Who you got up there?
It's afraid. Remember, it's artificial intelligence.
Artificial.
Artificial.
Well,
I found it. Went after it. Stop.
Too
I
close.
think we can take
But
the
the problem is
intelligence
the
part out of that
following, right?
phrase.
Left, right.
I don't really know if this was meant to follow as much as find.
Oh.
It's blue. It stopped.
I think this program is kind of like the first program where it will find like Aruka markers and go to them. I don't think this is a follow kind of deal. I think this is a find kind of deal.
Okay, I saw the video. You have several things around, and it stops when it sees the face.
When it sees the face.
So
There you go.
Now it's trying to center onto the face. It didn't quite do it, but it was close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a.
So I don't think it's a follow so much as it is a find.
Go to. A fixed position.
That's probably
you must be.
a problem of Google Translate. Follow and find. So, what I'm thinking though is programming the bigger camera to do the same thing and seeing if we have better results. Because I think we'd have better results.
Better robot.
No, same robot,
No.
just better camera.
The camera.
Oh.
What?
I went to her and turned left. It helped her.
It said I'm running away. It sees buried. It sees buried.
Yeah, broke it.
That's what I got. I ain't got none. I got a little robot spinning around in a circle.
Hey, it's better than my robot.
Actually, it's spinning pretty good now.
The robot came with the battery, and the controller is the orange one.
And the camera came with the Grove cable. That's the controller, and that's the robot. And those are just Lego brick thingies to hold it all together.
I thought that was maybe parts.
Like a gears.
Yeah, it's
Gearboxes there.
tiny gearbox motors. I was playing with it last night to get it to go space. It was really slow. He had it really slow, and I thought that's what was causing the majority of my problems.
Mm-hmm.
Those little gear motors, those things are freaking fast. Those, give it 100%, it's gone.
Okay.
What about?
It's
putting-
running at
putting the
about
original
20%.
code? How about trying the original code?
I would try the original code.
But you can't load it.
I didn't bring a USB-C cable.
I got a USB-C cable.
All right. You want the original code?
I'm looking at some USB 3 Gen 2.
Mm-hmm.
hybrid cables that use fiber optics for the data and copper for power. I want to run a video cable about 50 feet.
Hmm.
There's a company out there saying they have them, but I haven't found them for sale anywhere yet.
I don't think I've ever seen anything that uses it.
It would just go to a hub that you could plug a monitor and a keyboard and mouse in, and then I can use the same software in multiple workstations.
What are you trying to do?
I want the Altium visible at the assembly station, and not just at the layout.
Okay, in English, what do you want?
I want to be able to see the circuit boards.
The
and where the
Altium,
parts
I
go.
don't know what Altium
is
is
PCB.
because of the gobbledygooker. You want
When you're trying
USB
to
at one end and what at the other end?
monitor, keyboard, and mouse on both ends.
And use a long cable, is that the problem?
Yeah, the problem is the distance separating them.
Does it
They
need
have
to
a-
be USB-C for the distance? Or can you, because you can extend USB 1
Not for a
75
monitor.
feet. Yeah, okay.
They have a adapters for USB to RJ45.
Mm-hmm.
Think that would work?
Bunch of them going on an auction for Saturday, or February 3rd, out of Amelia.
It seemed to me, the only one I saw that had the speed to do the monitors was the newest. Now there may well be some other stuff out there.
What's,
to run their
it's just regular USB speed?
No, it's enough to drive 4K monitors.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we run 1280 by 1024 normal desktop monitors on USB 2 all over the place.
See what?
And they work fine.
Well, that might be a worthwhile sacrifice.
Yeah, USB 2
Because-
to VGA adapter is
when
$10.
you- When you're trying to figure out where these resistors go, this doesn't have any resistors on it, it can really help to use the layout software because it'll zoom in on the spot.
Mhm.
Really, you do that too.
I've set up test stations with lots of pogo poles or pogo probes before.
USB to VGA
You
adapter.
have the balance robot from
And
M5
Windows
stack.
recognizes that, or?
Mhm. Windows and Linux. There's a couple of companies that make those.
Wow.
Actually, that was one of my fantasy crash cards for a
I don't
while
have-
when I
I
first
don't
heard
have
that
the,
announced. But
I don't have the
for 4
ESP32
years, you
board
had
for.
to hand compile the
For-
kernel module to drive those
Yeah, oh.
things. And so I just never got around to it. But yeah, a crash card with a single USB cable with Ethernet,
This is heavy to
keyboard,
download.
mouse, and video.
It's
Plug
this-
in
it's
one plug. And now it works. Trying to remember the
Are you
company
using
that develops
online?
those.
Arduino online?
J5 makes a bunch of the
You mean
adapters, but
IDE that
those are
is
the ones that we've had the most
in the
problem
cloud?
with. That's why I remember their name.
No.
Because anytime
Maybe
the boss wants to order something,
easy
say
to
not
use
J5.
on the run. Looking for the JSON
Cable maker,
link.
step below start tag.
The installation instructions, the second one,
There it is.
at the top, No. Here. Go back.
Did I miss it?
This.
Well, that's.
That, and there is the JSON somewhere.
Here we go, $12 at Walmart. They've got them in so this is USB 2. Oddly enough, it's slightly more expensive.
These are 10 gigabits a second.
Okay,
But you can't buy them anywhere.
yeah.
I'll try
Yeah.
it too. I mean, because being able to see it would be a big plus.
Yeah, here we go. So this is from Dell, but these are the ones that we've been using, the StarTechs.
Yeah, StarTech always ordered you extra.
Yeah. Well, we ordered 100 DisplayPort to DVI adapters. Those are about 2 in the garbage, 1 in the back of the computer. And it is amazing how many of them work for a week or 2 before they crap out. I mean, now somebody calls me, they were $2 a piece. They got ordered from
What was it?
something.
Mono? I was say, what's the other? There's another brand that's way worse than StarTech. Starts with an M.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah.
Getting,
We
you want a candy?
our boss wanted like uber cheap.
Mhm.
Ordered like 10 adapters. 9 of them were bad out of the box,
Yeah.
and like the other
And it
one.
was still cheaper than the good one.
No,
Oh,
like
really?
we could have
We
bought
bought-
StarTechs for like 50 cents more, and like at least you'd have like a
Half and half.
80% ratio of
We
good
bought
stuff.
A few hundred SD cards from China.
Oh,
They showed up with X's as being marked bad. Right? It was hilarious.
I worked in international paper. They have a brand called Reliable,
Uh-huh.
which is their like janitorial brand line for like toilet paper and paper products.
mhm.
So they were going to have a big conference there at the facility in Loveland. So like they wanted to give all the attendees the USB stick with all the documentation for all this, janitorial stuff that they provide. So I mean, they like, here, we need somebody to image all these USB sticks. And I'm like, well, hell, I'll do it. Like 400 USB sticks. And they all say reliable in like real big letters, and it's like, I think 50 worked.
Like in the restrooms.
I was like, this is ludicrous.
That a while ago, one of the mics said that Home Depot was selling some of those little action cameras that look like the old Hero
Oh yeah,
or the GoPros.
the GoPros, yeah, for like $7 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was like $15.
Yeah.
8 gig SD card in them. I get it home. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I plug the SD card in. Shows up as a 16 gig card, and it's reliable as all. It says 8 gig on the card, and it's a very reliable 16 gig card.
So we make this product that has SD cards in as the root file system, right? And we always buy the 8 gig ones, and we copy them from the master onto these cards. Well, the cards all keep changing in size. They're not 8 gig. I mean, they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Really?
Yeah. I've tried a dozen different manufacturers, and
So you're still able to get 8 gig cards?
I'm not. I have them.
You may want to consider just going to Micro Center and saying how much for this
I
many.
bought 50 at the time there.
Yeah.
Just big.
Because they will
They'll
deal,
They'll deal. Micro Center will deal.
and their prices are extremely competitive. I am stunned every time I find something on Amazon, then find it on eBay $3 cheaper, and it's $2 cheaper than that at Micro Center. I don't see how they keep the prices they do.
Micro
It's
Center's
cheaper.
So busy.
It's cheaper at Micro Center even if you include the shipping and everything else.
Yeah,
It's cheaper to go to, especially for memory.
but I
They're
wouldn't
just
have them
cheap
ship
on
me
memory.
anything. I want to go pick it up.
Yeah.
I want to hold it for them.
So why aren't there more stores like that? They're busy every time I walk in there.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. The line goes all the way out to the cases sometimes. All I wanted was one more pie. I don't want to wait.
I usually,
Ring yourself up and go to the.
I usually
The 18-minute
uh,
checkout.
Oh, yeah.
place my order in
Mhm.
ahead of time and have it waiting for me because I don't want to wait.
Yeah, I'll probably have to start doing that.
Yeah. Especially if it's something I know
They gave up on technical books. I understand why they're out of
Oh
date.
yeah, by the time
Well,
it's
they're-
printed, it's
I know.
a year
But I
old.
like
Well,
to
they
browse
don't-
the books.
They don't discount their book prices either, though. So when they
Yeah.
You know, like are you gonna pay $80 or $80 for a 5-year-old programming manual on, you know, 2 versions ago iOS?
Right.
I picked up a C++ book up there within the last 3 months that I know is more than 5 years old,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's still good. It's C++.
Yeah.
11
yeah,
or
80 bucks.
14?
Hmm?
Well, the-
11 or 14? They put out new standards, C++
Oh,
11
oh,
and C++ 14.
No, it was before 11, I think. Yeah, it was
I
old.
didn't realize that there was
Hmm.
anything past,
Yeah, there's a 19 provisioned at the moment, but they haven't settled on it. But yeah, so it's C plus or C 2019, but it isn't a codified standard yet. Right now, what we're running is I thought it was 2015.
unaware that C++ ever changed.
Well, so there's ANSI C, which has been stable since '96.
So, what was it, like 78?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what our books were for
Mhm.
college. You know?
And honestly, once you get ANSI C, screwing around in C++ just kind of hurts your brain. It does. But C, it doesn't matter which version. Once you get ANSI C, all of the C's are, oh, that's simple. Oh, I can do this too. I'll do that forever then.
Well, I'm kind of interested in Rust because
Yeah.
of multi-threading, but I haven't
And-
tried it yet.
And memory cleanup.
I've been playing around with Rust for a bit, so I haven't made anything big with it yet, though. So you want an excuse to.
I just told Vicente that now with all the AI cameras, Python's the next thing I have to learn. I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off.
Yeah.
Now I
Python
guess
makes
I
me
actually
itch.
have to do it. I don't like Python, but
I
no, I don't like all the tabs.
I like my phis and my esacs.
I mean, like,
This is where I start a loop, this is where I end
does
it.
the tabs for me. It just solves it right off the bat.
All the MaxiPy IDE isn't that
Yeah.
smart. It complains about every damn thing. It complains about spaces not being right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If there's too many spaces.
I mean, it's
That's-
always a complaint.
Well, if you put a variable and a comma and a space, it complains. Or was it a variable, a comma, and a space, and it I don't know. It complained.
Oh, right. It's
It complained.
stylish.
Yeah. Well, that's been playing with Ansible all week. And it reminds me of Fortran because it's like spacebar, 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 dash, return, spacebar, spacebar, spacebar. I was like, wait, I thought we got rid of Fortran.
So if you write that in VI, it automatically does the formatting for you.
Does it?
Yeah.
Where didn't you say last week
I
that,
am
that
using
Python 3
VS
got away from a
VS
lot of
Code
that?
from
Well, I was
Microsoft.
saying
I think.
Python 3 went back to
And
like
it correct everything.
Oh,
Python,
VS
what
Code,
was
their
this?
open source one. Yeah.
It's great for everything, for
Semicolon and all
any
that.
language. You can run with VS Code. I like it.
I had a lot of fun with Python 2, and then 3 came out, and it's like, what do you mean I gotta put the semicolon at the end of every line now?
Yeah,
That's why I
What are you
hated
talking
C.
about?
Huh?
You don't put
You used
semicolons
to.
in Python 3.
You talked about it.
Yeah, you do.
Fortran.
Don't you?
No, I'm confused now.
I got
what you're
a
talking
million
about
lines
now,
of
'cause
Fortran. Yeah, it's not helping me a lot
I do
with C.
want a Python 3.
Or C.
Python,
C.
column,
I like C.
I don't know. I just know that IDE complains about every damn thing I do.
the
I
column
don't
is the
care.
difference
That's
between
just-
C
Yeah.
and Python.
Just program.
So is that,
I actually didn't know you could put semicolon. Check.
If you see semicolons, it's not Python. You should.
Semicolons are not Python. That's just not.
I'm pretty sure.
All I know is
Semicolon, what does it do? Oh, it lets you do it. Okay.
It tolerates you. Oh, okay.
It tolerates you doing it. I actually didn't know that.
Well, because well, I did a one of those college classes on Coursera, and that was the big shift between he taught it in 3, and I mean, it had a semicolon on everything, and on 2,
So
and I was
weird.
like, this sucks because I like 2.
I mean, I've been using 3 for years, and I've never put a semicolon down.
Really? I didn't know you
I
couldn't do it without the
I know.
semicolons in
I
3
just-
because the whole course was done like that.
oh, this is going to take a while.
Like,
I gotta install more
I've never
libraries.
done it. It's just, I didn't know you could do it. That tells you anything.
Well, that's to say. Well, and that's.
So there's
Some happen.
I
It's
thought you had to.
Or what?
it doesn't have
'cause
the
that's how
I know
that
you
I don't have
course
the
was on it.
the M5 libraries installed now.
That
I've got
drove me
the
insane.
board core installed.
Because that's the reason I don't like programming in friggin' C and C++. I hate all the syntax. You finish every line, you gotta put your quote crap in parentheses.
I wasn't expecting to
semicolons.
program this thing
Why don't you
today.
just put all 3 of those characters every time I hit
Usually
return, and I
you
don't have to
do
type
use that at
every
home,
line.
right?
Use VI.
I'm sure you can find it.
I
anywhere
use
else.
I use Linux
I use,
to program. I usually don't use the
God,
Windows to do it.
Weird because I use.
In fact, it's
I
even
use
an old version
IntelliJ
of
VI bindings.
the Arduino.
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
IDE.
Every time I use another editor, I escape WQ. Damn it! Why did I?
So IntelliJ and PyCharm have a plugin that supports VI bindings. And
Really?
So that's what I use.
All right.
So I get to have all my standard
Shouldn't be long
analysis
now.
and my VI bindings. Yes.
But I don't use Windows to program. I use
That makes it feel
Linux,
any better. I
and
used
on
to
the
do all my
Linux
C
side, it's all
programming
I've got
in
everything
C++.
installed. It's all there.
And it would all cross-compile with the Unix. Because I'd write my code to run on both because our stuff had to compile on the Unix for our grade. But I don't have a son at home, so back then,
You want one?
man, I could be persuaded.
I've got an old Sun Tower box somewhere, which would still be pretty quick.
How's your
Just
new
say,
machine doing?
Hmm?
How's your new machine
I've got
doing?
an old 5.
Doing well.
Got it all going?
Not all, but mostly. I decided to switch out my case, so now it's back all apart again, and I got to finish that up.
Started looking at the Yocto project.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's for generating root file systems and SDKs to support them. You want a custom Linux environment.
So there's not enough fractured versions of Linux out there already.
It's running on custom hardware. You just need to have the drivers for the hardware that's present.
Oh, and strip it down to make it small enough to run on small toys like IoT.
Exactly.
Oh wait,
So
there
you
is
type it in?
one place where I use a semicolon with Python. I mean, the only
Just
time I ever do it
long
is
enough to
if I
make a
don't
booting
if I
USB
don't have a
drive.
debugger integrated with the IDE, and then I have to put one manually.
I couldn't-
And the only time I ever
couldn't
use
get
it
it
is
to
so I
work
can
the
put
way
in
I
a
wanted.
breakpoint and
So,
one line.
yeah, I played with it. I got the thing to boot.
I think that's the only
File
time I
and
ever use a semicolon.
Grub and then boot as extensions. So it was a
Well, now I'm ticked at my, you know,
2T hard drive
Python
that had like
Coursera
300 ISO
class.
files on it.
Yeah.
And I would scan the directory and give you a list and just scroll up and down,
Because
find one.
I
click,
didn't
and it will
roll
boot that
most of the
itself.
class in 2
That's
just because I
pretty
couldn't
That's
stand
cool.
3.
Yeah.
Because it was semicolon, semicolon, semicolon.
Something still didn't Something still didn't copyright. I wasn't expecting to do this.
It's all somebody's fault.
It's somebody's fault. I don't know whose fault. We'll blame somebody. Nope, you don't need all that. You just need that. Oh, copy. There's my key. You only see the mouse. There it is. Compile.
Kaboom!
I'm sorry, what I heard. Surprise.
Surprise! I'd be surprised if it's working.
And I had the Andy Griffith show out there on the rack. One more pile in it, wasn't it? That came from Andy Griffith, didn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Silver pile, yeah.
Show, yeah.
That would probably be a problem.
Yes, so I bought a Canon laser printer after making sure there were drivers for Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Laser printer works fine. Scanner? Nope, no scanner.
Oh, really?
I was so
So-
irritated. I was like, really?
So the only thing I've found that is easy to set up out of the box are the newer brother stuff. They've got if you're running Ubuntu or CentOS, Fedora, yeah, they've got a script. You download it, you run it, it says what printer have you got, and it goes out and it gets the drivers and it installs them for you. It's pretty good. I don't know.
I have replaced a brother that worked just fine, but it was a decade old. Well, it worked until recently.
Yeah.
There's a Canon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When I bought it, I was at a thrift store and it was cheap. It was a Canon laser printer that has Wi-Fi built into it, which is unique in amongst itself. But it was like $7. First thing I did was I got on the Canon website and, yeah, there's Linux drivers.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yeah. I said, oh, do I need to set this up through what? No, they've got the setup for it through. Yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah. On the brothers, generally speaking, cups will auto detect and just print to it.
Yeah.
You don't need their drivers for the printing, but you do if you want the scan to PC to work,
Yeah.
because that actually runs it's not an FTP server. I forget what kind of server it runs on the Linux box. I immediately assume it has zero security at that point, but it broadcasts the PC's host name to the printer. The printer then shows it on its screen, and you can scan to that machine, and it, we'll call it FTP. It receives it as an FTP file, and can even put it in your home directory or some given directory.
The Fedora I had, there's the simple scan program that
Mhm.
distributes with Fedora. It just worked. I
Mhm.
didn't set up. Now I did run the brother install scripts,
Yeah.
but it worked.
Yeah, that uses the Xsane, or the Sane drivers, and Xsane is a extension
And
of
I
that.
was looking at them, they comment on this printer as being untested, and going, I wonder if I get any feedback, if they'll make this work for me.
If I can, it cares.
No,
I-
it's a different group. It's not Canon.
I've had pretty decent luck with Samsung printers in Linux. They have decent drivers, or they're stupid enough that Linux works well with them. But I don't know about scanning on them. Honestly, if scanning is an important thing, go to a thrift stop and buy an ancient old Kodak USB 2 scanner. They're slow and ugly, but they do beautiful scans.
I can put a USB stick in it. If I walk over there, put
Yeah.
a USB stick in it, and hit the button, it works.
I had an all-in-one at the shop. The scanner never worked with Linux, no matter
Mhm.
what I did. Even doing the stuff that people said to do, never worked. But it had SD card, it had a USB stick, and it would shove all that on the. Just hit scan, plug your stick in, and it. I was like, "Yep, that'll work. I don't care."
All right, I scan documents 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah. So I've
Well,
got
at that particular point, I was scanning a little bit more than that, but it didn't matter because it organized them. It was 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
5, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. It would take me, rename, do
Yeah.
this, rename.
I've got a pretty inexpensive Brother 7840, I think, MFC 7840. It receives faxes and drops them on my server as multi-page TIFF files. It scans to PDF, black and white or color. I can choose on the screen which I want. It prints perfectly. I've had almost no issues at all with it. I think it went until it moved itself out of the frame.
Well, okay,
That's probably the matter.
now you see, you can hear the motors.
Yeah, is the one.
It's too slow.
I'll put it on the sheet of paper.
Doesn't matter.
That's where the picture is.
It's too slow.
Well, but on the sheet of paper, you can make it faster. You just rotate the paper with.
I could do that.
It's odd.
It's too slow until it wants to go forward, and then it's fine. Go forward. Hi. My name is Picture. My name is Face. Come and see me. Come on. Oh, you saw me. You just don't want to drive forward. So that's one reason why I changed the speed factor. So I went through all that, and now it's not working. Lego blocks, not quite. Hey,
You can't be moving the picture when it's trying to.
I'm over here.
Sit it down. Give it a chance. It tried to back up. It saw it.
I'm over here. I'm over here. Look, I'm a crudely drawn face.
Yeah. Now it went to it.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the password manager lately. NPass. It's kind of
Do you use
cool.
OTA for that?
It syncs between the phone, the tablet, the Linux, Windows,
You can
through Dropbox.
In-pass?
NPass.
I haven't tried that one
Jim
yet.
wanted
It's
this.
Lego parts
Yeah.
with the mobile.
No,
It's a lot of work to move.
No,
all
they
the
came with
passwords,
they came with those
credentials
other cheap cameras.
From
So I
anything?
took some
or-
parts
Well,
out
I've got
of
a,
those
I've got
other
a
cameras that
encrypted
Mark
zip
wanted to
file
use.
that I've
Oh.
accumulated 15 years worth of. So every time I log in, I move the password over if it's not in it.
Okay, so looking up NPass, I come up to something for neonatal pediatrics.
Woohoo!
Wrong one.
Bit worn.
Worked at the knock at Cincinnati Bell for, well, he worked at UUNet for a few years, it's about like 12 years, and then Cincinnati Bell for quite a while. He had a notebook with 1,200 companies' fiber trunk passwords. And they wanted him to turn that in to them. Oh, hell no. when they fired him, he's like, it's mine.
When I was doing work for Cincinnati Bell, I discovered that, so normally when I would get a router config, all the passwords were encrypted in it, so it's a hash. I never bothered noticing. They're all the same hash. All of them, everybody that had the Evolve product,
Yeah.
their phone number logged in with the same password everywhere in Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then I got one router that they hadn't encrypted it. Plain text passwords.
Oh, jeez.
Beautiful. I wrote those down. I figure right now I've got my pick of probably 15,000 phone numbers.
Yeah.
So California's got the law where you have to force consumers to change their factory passwords. I don't know if it's in effect yet or not.
Oh, probably.
That's a cool thing, honestly. Most of the ASUS routers do that by default, and that's a feature of OpenWRT and DDWRT.
Yeah. The Netgear the last Netgear I bought, not the
Mm-hmm.
not the one that I bought from the thrift store, the previous one. It forced me to change.
Yeah.
As soon as it came up, I got a captive portal that said, "You have to change your password." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. That's the thing I think is annoying about our of all systems active non-default password.
Yeah, I think I typed the default password back in and it said no. Try again.
I was really kind of shocked to talk to my buddy that and he's like, should be this. I'm like, nope, that didn't work. He's like, whoa, well, they actually changed that. I'm impressed.
The factory reset.
The
Well, that's it's got a it's VLANs and crap. I was like, I ain't gonna smoke it.
the Netgear that I got from the thrift store not too long ago, it has a non-standard password. It's on a label on the bottom of the router.
Mm-hmm.
It never forced me to change it. I guess you could go in there and change it, but it's so oddball. It's like a couple of random words crammed together,
Yeah.
unless they are recycling those words.
They could be, but even so, it's still a big library.
Yeah. So
I have a.
That NPass will give you a choice to give it just a random code
Mhm.
or a pronounceable one.
Mhm.
So it's a string of unrelated words, but they tend to be longer than a lot of websites will let you
Yeah.
use.
I logged into some website the other day that was so restrictive on their password requirements that it made it easier to figure out what somebody was.
Oh gosh.
I
Complained that my password was more than 14 characters. Like, really?
Characters?
Yeah, that was too
Way
long.
Too short. Oh, they probably have a legacy database somewhere that can't have more than 14 characters.
Yeah. They should hash it and just save that anyway, but
there was I don't remember what site it was. It complained because I used special characters.
mm-hmm.
Did not like the special characters.
My bank has bad password requirements. And
Yes.
I'm vocal. Every time I have to actually talk with somebody, I tell them, and I know the girl behind the desk can't do anything about it or care. But damn it, if they get enough complaints, maybe they'll start allowing
Like
better
having a password
passwords.
manager. At least I can get the best random I can out of whatever
Yeah.
14 characters they give me.
Yeah, my insurance guys wanted special characters. Okay, it was their new requirement. You have to use special characters. So I used my
Mhm.
generator and said special characters, yes.
Mhm.
Boom, special characters. We don't allow all special characters.
Don't
Yeah.
allow that one. Remember those
Which ones
pages?
don't you allow?
There was a site that was kind of like yours. It said, I don't know, it might have been 16 characters, but it said that, and then it said, we require special characters. I said, okay, fine.
Numbers.
And then it said, we require numbers. I said, okay, fine.
Like I was doing it one by one.
Yeah, and then it said,
Uppercase.
and then it said, yeah, I think it said something about uppercase. I said, okay, fine.
And
But
now
by
it's
the
too
time I got done with it, it finally came back and said, you can't use the hash sign. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sick of this. And I just stopped. I was
And after that, or they say this password already exists. Try another one.
Yeah.
Or too close to your old password.
Okay, when it tells you this password already exists, and it's like, just go. No.
We got into trouble where the password had a non-visible character in it. Somebody had cut and
Oh.
pasted from one character set to another.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I
We had to
get mad
dump
when
it,
they
add
ask
the
for
file,
changing the
and
password
look at it in
and don't
bytes
let
to figure
you
out
use
what's wrong.
Yeah.
similar password than the last one. They say it's pretty close to the last one. Changing. What's the problem with you? Some banks just say this password is too close to the last one.
Yeah.
Continue changing it.
You know what I do with my bank on mine?
It should
I
be
smack
weird.
it, smack it, smack it into a box. Then that way nobody can get in.
Let's see.
And then I go to
Let's
the
see.
teller.
So you're checking the previous
Yeah.
password. You're checking the previous password and see if it matches.
I had to
It's
lock
not
up
a
my
good
credit
sign.
accounts a few years ago. Yeah. We had people file my taxes for me. I got credit cards from banks in other states.